Welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Great to have you in the audience with us today in the conversation. Candy Crowley going to lead this town hall debate tomorrow night. But the problem is that both sides are unhappy with her. And the reason is the way this town hall debate is designed to work, and I've got the exact copy of the rules in here, and maybe I'll pull them out, maybe not. But the agreement between both camps is, look, the moderator is not to inject herself into the questioning at all. This is for people in the audience to ask questions of the candidates and for the candidates to respond to people in the audience. And the moderator is simply there to move things along. The moderator is not to interject comments, to interject follow-up questions at all whatsoever. And she's already said, I'm going to do that. In fact, here is what she said. Once the table is kind of set by the town hall questioner, there is then time for me to say, hey, wait a second, what about X, Y, and Z? So she's going to be the one that's going to be interrupting Romney, not like Biden interrupting Ryan 85 times. It's going to be Candy Crowley, the moderator, interrupting Mitt Romney 85 times. She says, I'm going to do it. And she was the one that referred to the Mitt Romney-Paul Ryan as the death wish ticket. So which side is she on? She's clearly on the side of Obama and the Biden in this deal. Now, the polling data is indicating that this race is incredibly tight. You've got even Chuck Todd out there saying today that there has been a fundamental shift in the dynamics of the campaign, a structural shift in the dynamics of the campaign. Chuck Todd completely in the tank for Obama. And trust me, they are beginning to panic in the Obama camp. They see this thing sliding away from them. I think it's possible, ladies and gentlemen, that this thing is not even going to be close. You know, you've got Suffolk University, their polling data, one of the respected polling firms. They're not even bothering in Virginia and Florida anymore. And those are two of the three battleground states. And the polling data from Ohio indicates that they're just about dead even, that Obama and Romney are running dead even in Ohio. The three states everybody says you got to have are going to be Virginia, Florida, and Ohio. They don't think Romney can win without those three states. Well, here you've got Romney, according to Suffolk, so far up in Virginia and Florida that they've just pulled out, and North Carolina as well. They're not even bothering to poll there anymore because Romney's got it. It's in the bag. There's no point. They're wasting time and energy to even poll there. And the polling data out of Ohio is that they are running neck and neck. Now, Washington Post, ABC, came out with a poll today that has Obama up by 3, I think 49-46, but they oversampled Democrats by 9 points. In other words, their sample was 34% Democrats and just 25% Republicans. Now, even in 2008, the gap was about 7 points. I think in 2008, see if I can find the number in here. Where was that? I think Democrats had like a 7-point edge in turnout in 2008 because of all the incredible enthusiasm behind Barack Obama. But in 2010, it was about dead even. I think it was 35-35 across the board in 2010, which led to this enormous Republican tsunami takeover of the House of Representatives and many state legislatures as well. So Washington Post and ABC, they're out there trying to put the best spin on this thing, trying to get the American people to believe that Obama is still leading this thing. But in order to give him a 3-point lead, they have to oversample Democrats by 9 points. Now, here's a striking thing in the battleground poll, and this is Politico George Washington, in the battleground poll of likely voters. So this is a significant poll. This is in the battleground states. They've got Obama ahead by 1 point, 49-48, which is basically a statistical dead heat because of the margin of error. And then the competitive states, Politico's poll actually has Romney up 50-48. These are the competitive states, would include Ohio and Virginia and Florida. And here's the interesting thing. Romney has been improving his likability numbers. So all the time that Obama's out there been trying to hammer him on the 47% thing, paint him as a rich, out-of-touch white guy with the elevators for his cars, his favorability numbers are going up. He's now viewed favorably by 51% of the people, 44 unfavorable. So he's starting to crowd Obama on likability because Obama's likability is at 53-45. So Obama's up 8 on likability. Romney is up 7. So they're virtually running even on the likability quotient, all of which is very, very bad news for Barack Obama. Yeah, here is the split in 2008 was 39-32 Democrat-Republican. The midterms, 2010, was 35-35, and then 30% of the voters were independents. So if 2010 is any indication, if those are the kind of turnout numbers that we see, and Mitt Romney's got a sizable enthusiasm edge. He's got an enthusiasm gap in double digits over Barack Obama right now. And he is up by double digits among independents. 30% of the voters in 2010 were independents. 29% in 2008 were independents. Number of independents in the poll data that Washington Post just did was 33%. So you figure somewhere between 33% of the voters are going to be independents. And Mitt Romney right now is winning independents by double digits, anywhere from 13 to 16 points. Mitt Romney's up with the coveted independents. And so I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you look at the way this thing is going. And again, for people that are looking for some kind of change, this is nobody ought to go to sleep. Nobody ought to back off the throttle. Nobody ought to stay home. Nobody ought to get complacent. But I think it's possible, with what even Chuck Todd was saying, look, I'm looking at the momentum and I'm sensing this structural shift. The movement now is shifting away from Obama and it's shifting toward Mitt Romney pretty decisively. This Libya thing, I think, is really hurting Obama big time. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the program develops in the second hour, about the fact that the Obama team now is trying to throw Hillary Clinton under the bus. And that's troublesome because he needs Bill Clinton to campaign for him, but he's got to find somebody to blame for Libya. And there's nobody left. He can't blame Bush because Bush hadn't been president for 4 years. He can't blame the movie because even the State Department and intelligence, they didn't have anything to do with it. So he's left with nobody to blame but the State Department. That's Hillary Clinton. And he's trying to get Bill to come out on the campaign trail and campaign for him. So he's in a real tight spot. He wants to throw Hillary off the platform, under the train, but he's worried about what that's going to do to Bill Clinton and Clinton's willingness to support him. So anyway, I'd like to get your reactions to what we've talked about thus far. 888-589-8840 is the number to call, 888-589-8840. Anything from this deer crossing story that we talked about to Joe Biden and Barack Obama telling flat-out lies about abortion and Planned Parenthood. Joe Biden out there saying it's against the law for Planned Parenthood to do abortions. Flat wrong. They did almost 330,000 abortions last year. Barack Obama out there telling Glamour magazine, got to support Planned Parenthood because they do mammograms. No, they don't. That's why Komen pulled their funding from Planned Parenthood. They don't do mammograms. There isn't a Planned Parenthood clinic in the country that does mammograms. All of those are outsourced. So any of that you want to talk about, reflecting back on the debate, Martha Raddatz, the moderator, saying, look, Joe Biden was too big. He was over the top. He was too aggressive. Basically, in her own words, saying he was rude and disrespectful. So like your comments on that, and looking ahead tomorrow night to this town hall format and the fact that both camps are a little bit upset with the fact that Candy Crowley is going to be moderating this debate and pledging that she's going to intrude, pledging that she is going to insert herself where the rules prohibit her from belonging. Now, one of the reasons the Obama campaign is pretty nervous about that is CNN, as you're aware, CNN has actually done some pretty good reporting on this Libya deal. CNN has been out there reporting, look, the White House has not been shooting straight with you about what happened at the consulate. They've been concealing information from you. They have been misleading you. And Candy Crowley is one of the ones that's done some fairly aggressive questioning. So the Obama team does not want Candy Crowley out there doing some honest-to-goodness journalism during this town hall debate. And so the Romney camp not happy, the Obama camp not happy. Be interested in what your take on all of this is. 888-589-8840 is the number to call, 888-589-8840. And we've got some more. Oh, by the way, speaking of polling data, this is a striking thing. Everybody says, hey, the Hispanic vote is gone for Obama. Forget about it. Barack Obama's going to win the Hispanic vote hands down. And it's true. Nationwide, he's up about 66-31. He's just about got Romney doubled up among Hispanic voters. But in Florida, and remember, Florida is a key state. It's one of the 3 states that everybody says Romney's got to win. Obama is only ahead of Romney in Florida among Hispanics by 7 points, 51-44. So you have a sizable Hispanic turnout in Florida. And of course, you got a lot of that Hispanic population is Cuban, and they have no use for anybody with a socialist ilk because of their experience with Castro. So I think that could be decisive for the Romney campaign. 888-589-8840. Let's grab a call before the break. Let's go to Wash in Lafayette, Louisiana. Wash, you're on Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Like I told the lady, I'm no fan of the National Enquirer, but right now they have an edition now, page 27, 28, 29, and it says, before Mr. Obama met Mrs. Obama, he was going to a brothel.
So this National Enquirer is saying, do they source that? I mean, how do they back up that claim? Who are they referring to? Who are they citing? Okay, I guess we lost Wash there. So again, that's National Enquirer. So you got to take that for what it's worth. Now, they did break the John Edwards story. Nobody else would touch it. And now I haven't seen that story that Wash was referring to. By the way, Jesse Jackson Jr., remember, he's been incognito. He hasn't been on his post since June, and he's claiming it's because he's been dealing with bipolar disorder and certain other emotional or mood disorders. Now it turns out he's under serious federal investigation and has been for some months now for misappropriation of federal funds. Every House of Representative, every office gets somewhere between $1 and $2 million a year for various and sundry things. I cannot imagine why they need that much money. But and of course, obviously invites fraud. And the suspicion is he diverted some of that money to decorate his home and maybe even to conduct a clandestine affair. Focal Point AFR Talk.